I grew up in China, where English was just another subject in the exam-oriented education system. Back then, language learning was about memorizing grammar, vocabulary, and correct answers. English was just a foreign language. It had no connection to my identity or culture. I never really thought about what was behind those textbook sentences, or that language could change the way I see myself. But that changed when I moved to the US. When I arrived here 2 years ago, I paid too much attention to using correct grammar and pronunciation. But in real-life conversations like jokes, I could understand every word, but I couldn't get why it's funny. I felt like an outsider, listening but not truly belonging. It became clear to my mind that language is not just about the proficiency. In my second semester, I took a course called Intercultural Approaches. We discussed the topic Chinese classroom never touched, like privilege, hierarchy, cultural diversity, identity, and more. Before sharing my ideas, I asked myself what I want to say in Chinese, how to say it in English, how to say it so other people won't think I'm impolite. I felt precious, but it helped me see how language learning is closely linked to cultural sensitivity. Outside of class, I began to learn more like a child, observing, listening how people express opinion, ask questions, or handle disagreements. Gradually, without even realizing it, I started to adapt. At the same time, I started to realize some of my values were starting to diverge from what Chinese society typically expects. For example, in a conversation with my dad about hierarchy and power dynamic, he told me that I should always follow authority, whether it's in the family or at work. I shared my perspective and asked why we couldn't have open, equal discussion instead. He started to be mad and asked me why you have so many questions. Then he passed the phone to my mom and said I don't know how to talk to her. Another example is I'm interested in some typically male topics like politics, history, economy, and in male-dominated groups. Sometimes I was ignored or told, "You are a woman." I wasn't becoming American. I wasn't staying Chinese. I was becoming something else. Now I see myself in an in-between cultural space. This hybrid identity can feel confusing sometimes, but it also allows me to adapt, to be more empathetic, and to see things from multiple perspectives. My reaction also changed depending on the cultural settings. For example, in China, among younger generation now, being asked about age, relationship, or religion the first time you meet someone can feel a bit too personal. These are usually seen as private topics. But in multicultural settings, I've learned to put aside my first reaction and try to be more open and understanding. When I was learning Spanish, after meeting my Mexican teacher 5 minutes, she asked me if I have a boyfriend or husband or children. I was shocked by her directness. I answered her question and then, out of curiosity, I asked her how such personal questions are usually handled in her culture. Learning a language is like getting software update for my brain. It adjusts how I see the world and how I am. Who I am, I will probably always feel somewhere in between. Honestly, I started to stop caring about labels. What matters is I can connect more with people from diverse backgrounds. I can shift perspectives. I can be curious instead of judgmental. This in-between space has made me more open, more respectful, and more myself.